live from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What is going on, folks and friends? Team and family. Hope you're doing great. We got Tech Giant Tuesday in the building, everyone's favorite day. Mark says, what's up, J-Boss? How's it going, my man? John Z, how's it going, my friend? You and I exchanged some combos back and forth, man. Thanks for chatting with me earlier today. Jay says, brightening up this dark, rainy day. Appreciate that, man. I'm going to try. It's sunny and nice in Nashville. Leaves are falling everywhere. Every time I look outside, I see a new leaf falling to the ground. Money literally growing on trees because I got to pay someone to come and clean up some of these leaves everywhere, you know? But yeah, nice to be here. Brett, what's going on? Sammy, what's going on? And all right, let's talk about what we got going on. We're going to fly today because it's a jam-packed house. It is jam-packed. SPY, not as quite as bearish as this wick makes it out to look. I was watching it most of the day. It did sell off right at the end of the day pretty drastically, but I still feel like there is some support around this 342 area. So we'll see. You know, you had a bearish Monday, potentially turn around Tuesday. So we could get another gap up tomorrow and it would kind of feel a little bit like today where it's just slow bullish momentum. But honestly, we're going to chop around a lot until the election. This is a good pullback spot to be in, and I'm intrigued to see what happens. It looks pretty good. Let's find out what occurs. Right now, just waiting it out. Qs, right? Really small candle on the Qs. Tomorrow with some of the tech earnings, I'm intrigued to see what happens on the Qs. But it did retest this candle perfectly. So any weakness over the next 2 or 3 days, we could easily see the Qs come down to the 100. So be prepared for that. You know, it could be long puts. You could have some hedges out there. You could have something just in case. I think it would be so nice for the Qs to come back down to the 100. And then, you know, we see what happens as we approach the election and find out what occurs. But present moment, semi-intrigued to see if we do drop or go lower or go higher, but there's definitely some pressure building. The Dow Jones, really, really nice inside day candle, and then the IWM inside day candle. So if today felt kind of like a snooze fest to you, that is because it kind of was. Inside day, not much happened. Not much happened. So earnings season is here. We will see what's going to happen. Robert says big prior day, which was yesterday, inside candle equals boring. And that's going to happen a lot. A lot. You'll always have some opportunities, but as much as I hemmed and hawed today and placed a lot of trades, only made 0.4 hours in the day trading account. Not a lot. Better than nothing, I guess. But even that took all the might in the world to be in that trade. So anyway. Cool. Let's go talk about it. And we're going to go talk about earnings and all that kind of good stuff. We do have an options trade on Unity Software. So this is a weekly options newsletter trade. Buying some puts on a pullback, regular November, $80 puts at $3.50 limit buy. Looks a little double top-ish. Looks like we kind of got some close below some support. I don't know if you guys remember Mr. Squiggles or not, but literally Mr. Squiggles had a line that looks exactly like this. So I deleted the line, but set up the trade to see if we can get in on a pullback. So that's pretty much it on Unity Software. Have a put position out there. All right, cars.com. I watched this one all day. This is a very, very nice bullish gap and go that did not go at least higher. I did make some money on a day trade, very, very small amounts. But as of right now, it closed below that candle, that volume very quickly. Very quickly, way fast. So I was kind of wanting to watch it for a bullish trade, but now that it got beat up so fast, I'm kind of just, I guess, waiting on the sidelines a little bit. Yeah, so today is a nice high wave candle. It could gap up and go higher. It could break down and definitely go lower. Don't know which one, but we'll come back and look at it Thursday. As far as day trades are concerned, can absolutely keep my eyes on this one, but I don't know if it's going to do anything great. So we'll come back and look at cars.com on Thursday, which is Transportation Thursday. And so that'll be pretty much about it. All right, sleep number. SNBR. Sleep number with great earnings and a really nice hammer candle right here. Almost a perfect hammer. Very, very good hammer for sure. And sleep number, I mean, I'm just looking for some type of dip buy on this one personally. So SNBR, I mean, a pull back to here would be kind of delicious. And then if it doesn't quite pull back that far, I think a continuation play, just like, getting in could also be nice. But sleep number, that's a pretty wide stop on SNBR, which we would just realistically be buying off the 10 EMA on that gap and go. I mean, that's really it. Stop at the 10, stop loss at the 20 EMA in a good trending chart, good gaps, good volume. Let's see if we can do it. Let's find out if this one works. All right. New official swing trade. And I guess concurrently, we'll probably still keep what you call it open, purple, but most likely we'll cancel it because I think that stock has just kind of ran without us. I think purple has just skyrocketed in flight and we're going to end up missing that one. So sleep number 60.55, stop loss 56.41. And just remember, if you have a sleep number bed or a purple mattress, you could still simply just buy some shares to have some, regardless of the price. Doesn't have to be a lot of shares just to be an owner rather than just a consumer. So I did mention that I do have a purple mattress. I did mention that I'm most likely not going to wait for a pullback for the exact swing trade, but we did make another move up today on sleep number. But I think at this point, we can cancel that order. That would be a 16% pullback, which it could wait. If we keep that open until earnings, that could work out, but I just don't think we're even going to trigger on that. So purple, Hector says, I need some mattress money. Exactly. Yep. So we can cancel that since purple and sleep number are both mattress plays. I think we kind of all understand how that one plays out. But anyway, in general, it's a great chart, really good trend, good gap, good volume, good direction. I think a lot of people know how they make money. And that's really it. So I missed that swing, but we have one on sleep number to see if it buys, if it pulls back. Okay, Facebook gapping up a little bit because of Snapchat earnings. And yeah, Facebook, pretty decent gap. This one, I would assume is going to fade. So we'll probably open tomorrow and most likely trade right back down to here, 267, and then bounce. There are some traders with some put sales out there. So put sales, somewhere around 240. I would think that's the best place to buy Facebook if given the opportunity to do so. It might not, but it is a good gap. And I do like the overall move. Here's the weekly chart, decent trend on a weekly chart, monthly chart. It's Facebook. Cash cow. And they did end up hitting 300. It took some time, but they did. That nice even round number. Can you imagine being a buyer at 300? Not buying at 200, which was weeks ago, but going, all right, I'll buy at 300. I mean, just think about these nice, easy numbers going from 200 to 300, 300 back to 250. That's a pretty easy way to play it. I mean, if you think about just nice round numbers on Facebook. So again, just keep in mind, Facebook will go higher over time. This is a good gap. I do think it'll fade some, but long-term, Facebook is viable. Robert says those are some grandma numbers. That is a factual statement. Indeed. All right, I will talk about my super small win on day trade on Tesla today. But ironically enough, Tesla is still showing a little bit more weakness. Now, I know earnings are tomorrow, and I still think earnings are going to either do absolutely nothing. So I would say 80% chance. 80% chance we get a very small gap up, very small gap down, and it just kind of disappoints people. And there's nothing really exciting, and everyone's like, bah! And nothing really cool happens on Tesla. That's an 80% chance because it's so high. So high. Other 10% chance is we gap down pretty big to like 360. We go down to like 320, scare some people who don't really want some shares but think they do. And then we go higher. That's a 10% chance of happening. Again, this is all my opinion based on, sheer perfect guess. And then another 10% is, I would say 5% chance of us gapping up nicely and fading. So 5% on Tesla, we gap up. Everyone's like, Tesla's going to 1 million. And then it fades. And then there's a 5% chance it gaps above 520 and just absolutely moon Lambos. And that's it. Very, very small chance of that occurring. So I personally think small gap down, flash lower, trade up, trade down, and then we trade sideways. That's what I think is going to happen right there on Tesla. So they'll trade sideways until the end of November and bore people out of its mind. So I would probably be an option seller going into earnings, like puts or bull put spreads or something, just allowing it to do its thing and take advantage of whatever gap it might not have. And then, of course, if it does gap down large and gaps down to here, which again is a possibility, that's the 10%, definitely 10% possibility it gaps down big. It'll scare some people who think they want it, but everyone gets scared when a stock starts going down, even if they want to buy it. Goes down to like 280 and then off we go. So we shall see, but those are my thoughts on Tesla. Play it how you feel fit. Okay, the day trade that I played on Tesla, very, very small win, took forever. Here's the 5-minute chart. It was really only an okay trade anyway. It was okay. But this is pretty much it. Once this candle came in, I was like, all right, that looks like a possible double bottom. I mean, according to all charts ever. So I did a limit buy halfway into the candle, pretty low stop. And that was it. That was the trade. And I had to lower the target because I was immediately wrong. 6 minutes into the trade, I was losing money. So then I just kind of trailed the stop and did not get stopped out right here. Ended up moving the stop up to that price and then got out right there. And I was getting like all kinds of FOMO over here, and I was like, what? It's at 428? Because that could have been, another 3-4 points. Wasn't bad. But anyway, that was pretty much the trade on Tesla, and then just kind of rolled over. So all in all, played it literally as good as we could have. A lot of traders bought some shares today at 420.69, and now we just wait to see what earnings does. Earnings are tomorrow night after close. It will be very exciting. Allison says, going to keep selling calls on my shares. Yep. I can dig that. Just make sure to sell them on decent up days. So kind of like, that day right there, October 14th. Good day to sell some calls on Tesla. But yeah, let's see what she does. The volatility, the premium, the theta and everything is really, really kicking these things in the teeth. It's very interesting to see. I haven't seen volatility dry up like this on Tesla in a long time, mostly because it hasn't traded this sideways in a long time. So it's almost in a Bollinger Band squeeze. It'll be fun to see what happens. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Tesla. All right, AMD. I did watch this one most of the day. Never got triggered in. Didn't take any trades on it. It was Whipsaw Station. And I mean, I missed a few trades by a few pennies. One of the initial trades that I did set up was a short here with a stop there. And that actually would have worked out if I had left it open, which I did not. Did not leave it open, but it would have filled and it would have gotten an R. But that's really it, honestly, on AMD. You know, we looked at it for a day trade. This is the 30-minute and 105 EMA on the 5-minute chart. And that 105 is still a magical moving average. Absolute magic. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Failed it again over here. Really, really cool. Yep. So anyway, AMD, not much to see here. Earnings are around the corner. A lot of people have put sales around 70, which I think is a brilliant idea. And I would still love to buy some AMD around 73. So let's see if we can get it. This is a fun pattern that I don't know what you would call it. Some kind of wedge triangle pennant thing. Sounds like a delicious, delicious dessert. But anyway, yep, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what it does. Don't have any massive expectations over earnings on AMD. So we'll see if we can buy low, sell high. Hector says, is it a head and shoulders pattern? Could be. Could be. So this is really that imminent location where we need to find out. This will be a phenomenal trap because that's where everyone would go, it's a head and shoulders, and then it bounces. I've seen that happen a lot on big name companies, but it could make 70 achievable. Yep, it could definitely make $70 achievable, which I would love to be an AMD at 70. We'll find out. Okay, cool. That is AMD. We shall see. Next on the list, VRTX. What is this? VRT. I think this is a pharmaceutical. Yep, it is. So this pharmaceutical, get wrecked. So hasn't gone higher yet. Yep. So I think we're going to just kind of keep waiting on VRTX Pharmaceuticals. I mean, if you're playing it, you probably could play it bearish. It is a nice retest gap. We did retest. You had 2 small bullish candles in a row, kind of breaking below those. We did get below the 200 on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we're right at the 100. So the only thing I would do personally, if I was in this, which I'm not, is just buy small size, really, really tiny size here, and just wait it out. You know, risk an R, or risk half an R, risk a quarter of an R. Don't risk a lot. And just tiptoe in, be in, and see if it bounces. If it doesn't bounce, that's fine. If it does, hooray. All right, Snapchat absolutely murdered earnings. And I talked about this one yesterday and a few days before. I've stopped being a perma bear on Snapchat after pretty much after this earnings over here in April, I believe. Yeah, either April or February. But I read through some of the numbers. I was like, man, that's strong. That is strong, Snapchat. And then, of course, COVID. I mean, what's every teenager in the world doing at their house? They're studying their schoolwork. No, they're not. So they're playing on Snapchat all day long. And Snapchat revenue is at increased 52% year over year to 679 million. That's a lot. Because again, the kids are growing up. The kids that were on Snapchat back in 2017, they're now 3 years older. So all the 12 and 13-year-olds are now 16. They're getting cars and they're getting some advertising. This is a massive gap, team. I cannot describe how big of a gap, how strong of a gap this is. I don't think this gap ever fills on a daily chart. It might fill some, but I think this is gone. I think this is a whole new paradigm shift for Snapchat. Thomas says, I'd like 679 million in revenue. I would too. I'm a fan. I'd be a fan. If anyone wants to sign me up for that multi-level marketing scheme, I'm in. But yeah, Snapchat. I don't think this gap ever fills. I think this is very similar to the Pinterest gap that we had. Facebook gap. I mean, social media. What do you guys think? I mean, I'll be watching it tomorrow. I do not think I'm a day trade that one bearish tomorrow. Maybe if it goes high enough, I could consider it. What's it up? 21%. I might short it like 36, 37 just to try it, but I doubt it. I doubt it. It's a strong gap. Speaking of Pinterest, Pinterest is getting some love with that gap, and I am pleased about that. Very happy. I might actually have to increase this target a little bit. I'm in Pinterest. You guys know I'm in Pinterest. They had a super strong candle yesterday. Great close. I randomly talked to 4 people today, and they were asking me about a stock pick, and I was saying Pinterest would be one that I would get into, just because yesterday's strength, all because of yesterday's strength. Type in a 9 if you remember me talking about Pinterest. Well, yesterday. And I brought up the fact that I was like, man, guys, look at Pinterest closing strong here when the whole market's down. That's an amazing signal. That's a buy the dip signal. That is a be into some strength. Like, we already know the trend is positive. I told everyone and their mom that this gap was not going to fill, which again, when gaps don't fill, that shows positive strength. If a gap's not going to fill, then that means the bears won't be very strong. So look to play bulls. Be in shares, be in long calls, be in put sales, be in something bullish. I'm in all of those things on Pinterest. So tomorrow will be good. And in multiple different accounts. I got some in the head and the long term. I got some in swing trades. So Pinterest is good. Yep. Again, this gap never fills, team. Ever. Never fills. Now, this is not on earnings, by the way, too. So I'll leave the target of 20 up there on some of my positions. I don't know if that hits tomorrow, but I might just leave it alone. If it hits, great. And if it doesn't hit tomorrow, I think I'll increase it to like 22 or 23 and kind of go from there. But Pinterest, steady Eddie. Lee says, should we sell a covered call tomorrow on Pinterest? I would not. No, I would not. All right, next on the list is NET, ticker symbol NET. So finally got a little bit of weakness today. This is really the first down day. Yes, technically the 15th of October was a down day, but it was still a bull candle. This was a bear candle, but wasn't really a big down day. Same thing with this one, but now we finally got some selling. So I'm waiting for NET personally to kind of pull into here somewhere before I start looking at getting into some type of debit spread or some shares. I mean, why would I wait for a retest? Can anybody want to teach me that? Why would I want to wait on a pullback on NET? I mean, it's like, what sentiment would tell me that this thing could retest? How would we know that it could pull back some? So again, I'm waiting. It's a retest gap. This one could fill the gap. Yeah, this is definitely, this could absolutely fill the gap. This gap is fillable. Now, if it doesn't, I'm fine with that. It could throw in a nice lower shadow there. Richard says, you're killing me with the arrows. Yeah, a pullback to here, I'm definitely getting in on some NET. For sure. Mostly because I sold on this day, I sold a lot. Sorry, not a lot. All of my NET positions on October 12th. I forgot about this being one of the stocks that I made money on this in October. I said it was all AYX and Fastly, and it was a lot of that, but it was also NET. I just forgot about it. Crazy part is I forget about my winners so much faster than my losers. Anyone else? I remember my losers for a good solid 19 years, but my winners, I'm like, what? Did I win money on that? What? Oh my goodness. So study those losers. In this game, it's all about not losing money. All right, so anyway, Cloudflare, we finally got some weakness. I'm still waiting on a pullback. DraftKings. Now, DraftKings, a lot of people are starting to pile into DraftKings, which is great. I think that's perfectly fine. This is a buying location. I have a put sale. That's the only thing I have on DraftKings right now is a November 6th put sale. If I get put some shares, awesome. If I don't, I guess equally awesome. This is a lot of volume. So here's what I can say, and this will last for the next 4 or 5 weeks. If we close at any point in time above these 2 candles, that's a lot of bears that will be trapped. A lot of people who sold here, people who are shorting here, people who, are in lockup and couldn't sell up there and they're going to get FOMO and all that kind of good stuff. So in this general vicinity is where you want to start buying your leaps, Mike. So yeah, probably right around this price. If you're looking at buying them, this is it. The time is now. This is the biggest volume that it's had, bear volume ever. So if you're buying any type of call options over the next 2-3 days would be it. And I promise you're not going to get the low. I promise you're going to have to hold through some red, and we'll see if earnings are good or not. But if you have enough time on this one, shares or leaps, however you want to play DraftKings directionally, I think a lot of us know how this company makes money. This is a breakable basket. Okay, so meaning DraftKings can go to zero. It is absolutely plausible. So, don't do anything too weird on this one. Just have some positions, make sure they're a little bit longer term, and make sure you write into your plan. You will be negative on whatever position you get into on DraftKings. It's not the exact low. I don't know what the exact low is going to be. It'll probably be around 38 and some change, but that's it. 38.88. I think that's probably the lowest we go on DraftKings for now. All right, overstock. So OSTK finally broke out of that really, really nice pattern. And this one is dropping. So again, if anyone's in overstock, this is what I was mentioning last week and the week before. If you're in it, make sure you start buying some puts because we had not hit the 100 in a very long time. It was a super, super strong little trend. And if we start breaking down some candles, namely this candle right here, October 13th, I said, hey guys, if we close below that candle, get you some puts. We close below it Friday. So overstock is going to hit the 100 by the end of the week, which is 64.31. Again, the weekly chart on OSTK just looks identical. I mean, identical to this pattern. It's the same exact thing. So I hope it doesn't do this and just get absolutely waterhoused, but just keep in mind that it could. I hope it does one of these and then just one of those and just bounces out of here. But that's all I've got. Presently, it's just a really, really volatile stock. Every single time it's had a massive, massive run up. And I mean, all the times. You mean every time? I mean, every time. Every time it's had a big run up, it has a ginormous run down. So have some puts on overstock, long puts, just in case. Workhorse. Here we come to save the day. So Workhorse, again, I don't personally have any position in this one. I'm waiting on Workhorse to come down. I know a lot of traders like this one, but this is one of the very speculative SPACs, financial conglomerates that technically, theoretically, and legitimately doesn't make much money that I'm aware of. Strong close, well, this kind of support today. Again, if you're buying up in this area, just buy small size. I don't have any position in this one. I'm fully expecting this one to come down to the 100. And then from there, who knows? But the good news is I think a lot of traders avoided buying at 29 right here because it ran up, pulled back, ran up, pulled back, and then had a really quick pop. And that was just a phenomenal trap. Think of all the noobs who bought at 29 and higher on Workhorse. Because again, sometimes you just got to look at the chart and go, wait a minute, how far is this going up? 700% since June. Wait, when was June? Can someone remind me when June was? What month are we in? October. Oh, yes. Weeks ago. Numerous weeks ago. Like, I think I still have ketchup in my fridge from June. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is not long ago. So again, sometimes you just have to ask yourself, do you want to buy a stock that's up that much that you don't really know what they do, more or less at all, that quickly? Because again, I've never seen a Workhorse. Have you guys? Has anyone seen a Workhorse? Has anyone seen a horse work? I don't know what this company does. I don't think many people do. So long story short, let it pull back. If you're looking at buying it, have some protection. I think it could easily sink into the 17s. All right, NEO. Now again, this is a company. So this place sells cars, and it's in China, and the cars look pretty good. I've never taken a position in NEO. I don't know why. Mostly because I'm an idiot, I guess. There's a lot of traders with positions in NEO. And again, I'm not one of them. I've been saying that the whole time. That's absolutely okay. There's going to be millions of stocks I'm going to miss out on. Can't be in everything. Hector says he sold it at 15. Oh, brutal. Hey, at least you made money on it. Ron says Workhorse makes EV pickup trucks. Do they? Are they out? Has anyone bought one? They make or they're making? Mike says, not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I think they're Jeff says he has one. Oh, nice. You're gonna have to send me a picture. That's pretty cool. Jonathan says workhorse.com. It's a 36-foot RV. Wow. Interesting. Anyway, buy it lower is what I'm saying. That's my point. NEO, NIO. Guys, this trend is powerful. Powerful. Don't short it. Only be long on NEO. I wouldn't do any covered calls at this point. I would just, if you have a long, which I do not, just sit on it and just smile for a while and let it do its thing. This thing could easily at this point go to 30, mid 30s, 40s by end of the year. I have no idea. This is an amazing gap. Probably will never fill. Back over here at 10. Look at this weekly chart. I mean, unbelievable. Remember, weekly gaps, they are strong. If you get a gap on a weekly chart, AKA a Monday. So yeah, I like it. If you're in it, just stay in it for right now. Just let it do its thing. All right, FUV. FUV is a lawn yawn monster. Good old yawn monster, just hanging out, trading sideways, doing absolutely jack squat. So if it comes down to the 100, which is $5.78, that's probably where you would look to buy it. And other than that, just wait a while, I guess. It's consolidating, it's trading sideways. The purple line is a really strong old resistance, new support. We could hang in here for a while before breaking out if we're going to break out at all. Again, this one's relatively speculative. We'll have to see what they do, if they do anything, and when they do it. It'll probably be a while before they do it. But the actual chart itself does speak well for a potential buy off the 100. Yep. So if you're playing FUV and want to add to your shares, that's what you could do. TDOC is perfectly sideways. So again, pretty happy that I didn't buy there. Buying the pullback, you got a really, really nice compression. And again, just to reiterate, I am perfectly okay holding through this on TDOC, and we'll see what happens from there. I don't know what earnings are going to do, but man, I feel like earnings are going to be good. I don't know. I mean, they're working on acquiring LVGO, which is growing like mad. You know, the more they own, the better, obviously. And I just like this curve. I like the resistance. I like the building of the pressure. It's ready to go in one direction or another for sure. And if it definitely drops, I'll be holding through some red because I'm in my shares. And then if it pulls into here, I'll be getting my leaps. And then we'll see what earnings do. And if earnings do something terrible, then I'll sell a put at 155. And then I'll put some shares maybe. And then I'll just hold for a while. And a while being like maybe 3 or 4 months, and then I'll kind of readjust. Yep, that's my plan on TDOC. That's what I've got. PLTR, plantar fasciitis. So PLTR, Jay says a healthcare bill in the future may include TDOC, which would be killer if that happens. So PLTR, this is the software company that in 11 years has never made money. So even my boy Scott bought $1,000 of this one at open. He buys every IPO at open, but this one, this limit buy that you're looking at, I think we set that up on, I forget exactly what day, but one of the first 2 or 3 days. So PLTR, if you're in it, great. If you're not, I'm not either. If you are in it, you can increase your stop loss to 885, probably makes the most sense, or just put your entry there and lower your stop. I mean, the stock's at $9 and rightfully so. They've never made an ounce of money, like legitimate profits. So give it a nice large stop, hope for the best, and or focus on something else. There's a lot of IPOs out there that you could play that I like a lot better than that one. Cisco taking its time. Cisco working on a double bottom. Looks a lot like the rest of the market though. I don't think this one is going to be exciting short term. I don't think anyone who buys it thinks it's going to be exciting. This is a head and shoulders type of pattern. I can't disagree on that. I don't know precisely what Cisco would do or why it would have a massive sell-off. That is a head and shoulders-ish type of pattern. Mike says it's the exact same price where I owned it 2 years ago. Yep. Again, I don't personally have any position in Cisco. If you're getting in, it's a very boring, longer term blue chip. Buy as low as you can, hold it as long as you can, smile as frequently as you can whenever they actually go higher, which is rare. Mo says, who uses WebEx these days? I don't even know what WebEx is. So there you go. Hector says, I'm in it and I'm bored. Yeah. If you're bored, we know why. So again, this one eventually is going to kind of bounce, right? Mo says WebEx is Cisco's Zoom / Skype, aka teleconferencing for government people. Mike says we use it for live production. Works with TV networks. Edward says we got a Zoom. Big dinosaur companies and government use Cisco. Yeah, they got to get that that security protocol, huh? That's super safe, I guess. Apple uses it, says Richard. Right on. Well, again, long term, I don't have any position in this one. If you do, just understand that, you know, buy as low as you can. Again, you're gonna have to hold it for a while before it goes up. But this is one of those baskets that probably would not break for a bit. I'm not saying it can't go to zero, but most likely it won't. And yeah, buy low, sell high, and just hold if you want to. Disney. I'm still waiting on Disney. I'm still waiting on Disney. So I still have no position in Disney personally. This gap is still working on being filled. This one down here. And if I were playing, well, I do kind of want to play Disney, but I don't think I necessarily want to own the shares. But in general, I would just sell some puts and see if I could put some shares as low as possible. That's kind of what I would look to do. Edward says he has a 115 November put sale. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense on Disney and kind of let it do its thing. Streaming obviously is the way to go with all TV. Disney Plus is super massively mediocrely good. It's great if you have kids, but they will run out of games or movies to watch very fast. And then you'll immediately find them on Netflix or the Among Us game. So Disney Plus can hold a kid's attention for about 6 hours accumulatively. Alex says, is The Mandalorian worth watching? What do you guys think in the chat pane? I haven't watched it at all, but Bob and Robert, everyone else says yes. So everyone else, there you go. Watch The Mandalorian. Brett says, kids watch the same thing over and over. Mike says, we had it for Mandalorian and then got rid of Disney Plus. Edward says, love Baby Yoda. Got it. Well, anyway, so there you go. A lot of people are going to be using Disney Plus. I don't think they're necessarily going to cancel it, but buy low, sell high. Just Disney's going to hang out. All right, Norwegian Cruise Lines, NCLH, actually does not look bearish. The hilarious part is I've already gotten stopped out of my my options, so hooray. But as you guys remember, I mentioned I was going to be buying some shares of this one and playing it with shares to get that trade R's back. So I did, and I am in some shares. I tried doing the same thing with Carnival, and that's why I posted my my flub. I flubbed up on Carnival by missing it by 8 cents or something. I like this candle in Norwegian. I mean, you know, we're just buy low, sell high, I guess. So again, it's not special. I don't think they're going to go to zero. Just buy as low as you can and sell it high as you can. You can play Norwegian pretty frequently if you buy it low enough on a small enough time frame. I've been playing Norwegian on the hourly charts, non-extended hours, and just drawing support resistance and buying there. So if you're wondering why I bought Norwegian, it was just this really nice like gap right here. So on the pullback, bought some more. So let's see if it goes higher. So it got me some share. I got a share, trading a share or two of Norwegian, and I would love for it to get up to 2012. So we will see. We will see. Speaking of Carnival, so CCL, I have my entry at this support right here. Based on this lower shadow over here, I think my entry was 1352 and low of this candle was 1362. So yeah, I think I missed it by 10 cents. I'd already be up an R if I gotten filled there. Already be up an R. So oof magoof. And a few of you are saying you're getting into Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean also doesn't look that bad. Again, it's just consoling. Wow, that's an interesting word. Consolidating. Maybe at some point, if we get a stimulus and these things get some love, then good. And if not, oh well, it won't be great. CCL and then RCL. All right, let me see your work. WRK. This is finally the pullback that just needed to happen. And you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is pretty much the rotation that would make the most sense to me. So if you have positions in Slack technology, you're just gonna have to hold through more sideways action. That's all. Some traders did covered calls. Some traders got into collars, which makes a lot of sense to me. Slack's a buy low, sell high. That's gonna take a long time to consolidate and eventually break out of this channel, but it's gonna take time. So give that a lot of time because it will take a lot of time. All right, First Solar. I am in on First Solar, and I kind of like the candles up here. Earnings are around the corner. The pink line was Mr. Squiggle's best rendition of what he thinks is going to happen. And so far, I mean, not terrible, I guess. So we'll just have to see. First Solar could absolutely get obliterated on earnings. They've gapped down, they've gapped up. First Solar can go all over the place. My kind of line in the sand for, I guess this trade probably won't work that awesome, is breaking below here at some standard. So that price is 69.23. So if it breaks below there, I'll go, well, I guess First Solar's not going to break out yet, and I'll just get back in later. So I'll definitely take some R losses if that occurs, probably 2 or 3, and then go find something else. But I'm in some January $100 2022 call options, and we'll see. I'm in them. Newsom is in. So I got those open, and we'll see what happens on earnings. That's it. It's going to be all about earnings on First Solar, but solar is hot right now. I feel like GRWG, grow generation. Nice. So grow generation. Definitely want to pull back on this one. Trend looks good. Bob says this must be a weed stock. Yes, sir. Yeah, bro. I'm the grow generation, man. We grow cannabis here. The things we grow you. So grow generation, you're probably looking at buying a pullback. That's really all I would do. Just look to buy the dip. The trend is bullish. Purple line is where I would buy more. Green line is where I would buy a lot more. And then I would try to hold it and hope for the best. This is obviously a speculative company. Don't put anything too heavy into this one. If you're in it, be in it. If you're not, move on. Mark says they sell hydroponics products, which are awesome. Hydroponics are really, really cool. Okay, I can take those off the list. I've already looked at those. So here's Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE, and Virgin Galactic had some nice moves the last 2 or 3 days. So it's getting some good pops again. Perfect gap on the 28th, phenomenal retest on the 1st and the 2nd. Another nice opportunity to get in on another pullback on the 13th. And then you got some pretty disastrously big upper shadows. Long story short, if you're in Virgin Galactic, I wouldn't stay in over earnings because, well, they're not going to have any. Bob got out for 1.3 Rs. Nicely done, Bob. Good trade. Yeah, so Virgin Galactic, I mean, buy a pullback eventually. If you didn't get it on this one or you didn't get it on this one, I guess the next one would be buy off the blue line, which is the 20 EMA, so $20.83. Probably snag and bag one of those guys right there. Other than that, Virgin Galactic, if you're in it, stay in it. And if you're not, buy a dip. Otherwise, that's all I got. By the way, so this stock is the new Bitcoin, JKS, Ginkgo Solar. Ginkgo Balboa just keeps going higher. Or is it Ginkgo Biloba? How do you say that word? So JKS, unstoppable. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I just never got a chance to catch this one. Never got the chance. I mean, it broke out. It did break out 3 weeks ago. I'll give you that. And it did it with good volume. But, man, it's just getting a short squeeze. Ginkgo Biloba, that's what I was talking about. Edward says, does no one need to cash in their profits? Man, apparently not. So, yeah, I'm not in this one. But here's the thing. The trend, it seems, has been established on this thing. The trend has been established. So what's really interesting is a lot of the solar, like in phase. So in phase is absolutely murdering it. JKS, Crush City, Canadian Solar, Donkey Kong strong. So I'm like, all right, First Solar, come on, baby, let's go. Let's go. JS says, I bought on a pullback today and sold an 85 covered call. Nice. Well, my man, I hope you get caught away for a profit and you lock in some wins, and that's that. So well done, man. I'm not in this one personally, but when you get a trend like this, one of those that's like, will it ever stop? If it doesn't, you know, takes out these ginormous bear volume candles, zoom into a smaller time frame, and if it breaks out, just keep going. I mean, that's really it. Again, I can say that I did not take the trade, but there's that pop right there. I mean, that's it. You gotta get back in. And again, it can be a small size. It can be 20, 30 shares. It doesn't have to be 1,000 shares. But yeah, this is crazy, man. Apparently, everyone needs to take some Ginkgo Balboa. Ginkgo Biloba. Wow. Strong. Strong, strong, strong. We're going to be coming to that one a lot. Because when it does pull back, I think we'll be able to reestablish a nice trade on it. MELI, MELI. What a nice gap on MELI. Look at this open. Oh boy. So MELI, the real deal, guys. Growing. Look at this monthly chart. Mark says, Ginkgo Balboa. Is that Rocky's grandson? Yes. Yes, has to be. Daily chart on MELI. This is a powerhouse team. I mean, fundamentals are amazing on this one. If you live in South America, you should probably have some shares of this animal, even if it's a few. Even if it's 5 shares, buy some pullbacks. I mean, we talked about this one in depth not too long ago. Really nice bounce off the 100, and she is flying. In fact, you remember on Friday when we looked at this right there, the analysis was, man, guys, this looks really crazy strong. If it breaks out, go higher. Yep. So that's pretty much it. Powerhouse, buy the dip, be bullish, own, and don't trade. Just be in. All right, let's go look at Bitcoin and then Ethereum. So Bitcoin today did touch 12,000. Hooray! So now we'll see if it can close above 12,000 on a weekly chart, which it never has since 2018. So if it can close above 12,000 on a weekly, which will not happen until Wednesday, that will show some strength. And then we'll still get a pullback regardless, down to about 11,000 and some change. But let's go Biddy. The Biddy is putting in some pressure. Ethereum down today. So Bitcoin's starting to move on its own, but it's a good sign. Bitcoin moves on its own. The other altcoins will slowly catch up. This one just pulling back to the 100. Nice little spot to start accumulating. I do have both positions in those. Ricky says the dollar is also looking weak. Winky face. Dollar looks weak. Cryptos could go higher. All right, so EQT. This is the energy company, right? Yep, gas company. And they're gapping up a little bit. Well, here's what I would say. I think earnings is around the corner on this one. And that is a perfect inverted head and shoulders pattern. So I'm not going to take this trade personally. Totally up to you. Do one of two things. You can either buy some $16 November call options, buy some 16 longer call options, or wait until earnings for a close above that neckline and then play the retest of that perfect inverted head and shoulder pattern neckline. This is also a morning star. So really nice morning star reversal. If it breaks above there, bloom, get in if you want. I'm not personally going to, but that's my analysis on it. Pot stocks. So APHA. What do we got on this one? APHA. Ooh, that is a hammer. That is a hammer. That is a fact. That is a fact. It is below a lot of moving averages, though. Usually if I play hammers, I love them to be above all the moving averages. This one's below most of the moving averages. If you want to play this one, entry here, stop there. It is a perfect hammer. Can't deny that. So play it quickly. I won't play that one personally, but it does not look bad. Tilray had a really good move yesterday and is doing absolutely nothing today. CGC. CGC. Interesting to know that it's trying its best, huh? You do have some good volume here. Look how this resistance is holding up. Interesting. Okay. All right. You guys are right. I should start keeping an eye on pot stocks again. Falco says pot stocks are betting on Biden. Makes sense. I could see that, I think. Mark says, what good are pot stocks that cannot get high? Well, they're trying their best. I can tell you that. Start to watch them. Got it. On the list, noted and noted. Square, not much happening on Square. Scott McKay had a covered call that expired worthless. Ron had a covered call that expired in the money. And Craig is just chilling with his covered call for November. So yeah, Square, just hanging out. It needs a rest. I'm glad it's resting. It needs a rest. So that's really all I have on Square. Just if you're in, stay in and or protect yourself up here with some type of protection. The Chronic, Bob says, also moved today. It did. Kronos Group, aka the Chronic, did have a nice move yesterday. And again, if it can start breaking above these candles, I think we got a chance for it to do something. But I'll definitely look at that on Wednesday a little bit more. Nautilus, every time we look it up, say the exact same thing. Be long. Workout equipment, get ripped. Now, the funny and unfortunate part is probably don't want to buy it here. So if you're already in, look to either start selling or hedge, right? Sold calls, long puts. It's high. It's up there. It is up there. NLS is just rampaging. The only way you could have caught this is you would have had to zoom into a smaller time frame and just play a pullback on a smaller time frame, right? Find a really, really good trending company with good breakout, something like on October 5th, and zoom into a smaller time frame, throw in a limit order, and then hope and pray daily. That's pretty much how you play these. Smaller time frames, buy limits, and just hold them. I would be selling today if I was personally in, but I'm not. I don't have any position in LS. Intel, INTC. Intel, earnings around the corner. I'm expecting Intel earnings to gap down and then fade the gap. Obviously, I don't know for sure that's going to happen, but that is a perfect double bottom that has not retested on the weekly chart. Therefore, it would make a lot of sense for Intel to gap down and then fade. Longer picture, bigger term. This gap will fill, and yesterday it gave a really good shot to do so. It didn't quite make it, obviously, but you did have a good spike. So if you had some limit sales with some options or some shares, you might have gotten filled, maybe, who knows. But yeah, other than that, expect it to eventually pull back to 50-50 and then either add, go long if you haven't gone long, or do whatever you want to do. But eventually that will fill. Decker Outdoors has just been running. I mean, this, I haven't seen this stock in forever. Earnings around the corner. I mean, this thing is primed and ready. If it gaps up, it's just going to keep on going. And if it gaps down, it's probably going to fade. What a tremendous trend. Outrageous. Really good trend. Man, I have no position in this thing at all. Robert says, no one wants to be inside and get the Rona. Be outdoors. Apparently something, I don't know. Some kind of outdoor something is getting all excited. But yeah, man. Be bullish, buy the dip, or stay long. Zoom. So I'm still in this one. Ticker symbol ZM. And we did have a little bit of a pullback today. Robert did mention that he was looking for a short earlier in the day. And I just personally was like, well, I haven't had any real good success shorting Zoom except for that one day. And it would have been a little bit tough. I mean, you could have maybe made it happen, but even back trading it, like you would have had to short somewhere over here or later in the day. But long story short, Zoom will be just fine. It's obviously high, extremely high. Needs to pull back, needs to rest, hasn't even hit the 20 cents earnings. Let Zoom just come on down, rest around, do one of those guys, and then eventually continue higher. So I'm just going to let this bull call debit spread just keep hanging out on Zoom. Won't really be updating that. We're still profitable on it. Never lost money on it. So it's going to stay in. And it expires in 2 years. Well, a year and a half. PENN National Gaming. Don't have any position on that one. Just waiting it out, letting it do its thing. Buy as low as you can. Yeah, PENN National Gaming, you want this one to pull back. Buy low, sell high. Don't buy the breakouts on this thing. It's up dramatically over the last few months. Micron, ticker symbol MU, is doing what Micron does right now. So Micron, overall trend is bullish. Chart looks good. Direction looks good. I know Team RLT Australia sold numerous put sales on Micron back on that day, as did I. And those worked out just fine. So sold some puts, did not buy shares or calls, should have. But anyway, Micron's up, and I'm waiting for Micron to pull back down and see if I want to buy 1,000 shares of Micron, which would be about 50, and then turn around and look to sell those shares higher. That's normally how I play Micron. 1,000 shares, buy low, sell high, hold until it goes up. That's pretty much it. Nothing special on that one. Amazon. Amazon. Can it come down to the 100 simple again? I think it can. I would like to see it do that. You had a really big move up during the March rampage in the market, and now we're just kind of chilling. A little chill mode McGee is coming in on Amazon. So obviously it's going to take earnings to move this thing. And I don't know what earnings are going to do. Obviously they're going to be good, but I don't know if Amazon's going to gap up or gap down from that. I would guess it'll do something similar to what it did last time. Small gap up, trade down, and then we buy the heck out of it. That's what makes the most sense to me. Secondly, if it gaps down really big, which I don't know why it would, I mean, it's fadeable all day long. Small gap up is most likely, small gap down is a little likely. And then if it opens above $3,600, it's gone. They'll announce a split by the end of the year, and Amazon's just absolutely astronomically bullish. Don't expect that to happen. That's the least likely. Okay. Have we looked at Netflix? I don't think we have. Netflix. So Netflix is gapping down on earnings. I did not do any options on this one because it was just not at a great spot to do any options on. The fact that it's gapping down small, that's pretty much what I said Netflix would likely do, and it is. So we're gapping down small. I'm going to wait for it to trade back down to this area, maybe, and I will either A, buy some shares, B, buy some calls, C, sell some puts, D, do all three. Will kind of depend on how much capital I have available at the time, because Netflix is not cheap. But yeah, looking for it to pull back down to that support. A lot of people are buying it off the 100 over earnings, right? Buying 3 or 4 or 5 shares, just being an owner, not just a consumer, makes sense to me. Definitely want to buy low, sell high on this one, but I love the fact that it's gapping down on earnings, and I'm looking forward to some good option sales. I agree. That'll be a lot of fun on Netflix. That's what I'm most excited about. AMC Entertainment announced bankruptcy and only went up 50%. So 2020 is starting to lose its edge, and now it's starting to return to normal. So AMC running lower. Robert says, Dan and I are doing a review of Netflix and Snapchat this afternoon. Perfect. Looking forward to that. I already know Robert's bias on Netflix. I already know. But yeah, can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. AMC, never trade this thing. Why would you? Ticker symbol OC. OC, buy it down here into like 60. If it pulls back to 63. This thing is way too extended. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. So ABC. Yeah, let this one pull back to 63-ish. I would wait. I will wait. Buy low as you can on OC. GOGO. So I know some traders in GOGO, and you had a nice spike up yesterday into 11.97, so almost 12. And it's just still chilling for the most part. So there was a lot of sell orders at 12. There's a lot of people in GOGO, and it just didn't quite make it to that order and kind of started rotating lower. So I guess it's a hold and see still on GOGO. But yeah, I don't have any position on this one. If I was playing it, I would like to buy it down at 857. That's where I would like to buy GOGO if I were personally trading that one. HYLN going lower. So here we go down to 20. This makes sense. I have no position on this one. No real idea what it's going to do. And if you are playing it, just be cautious. I have no idea what they actually do. Although I do know what they do. It's hard to know what a lot of these SPACs are doing. These financial conglomerates that got everything moved over. I know they allegedly make OEM equipment for things, allegedly, but I'm happy to say I stayed away from that, the SPACs. AYX, waiting around. So I guess we're going to wait around till 1:30. I still have calls. I still have shares, and I sold most of them at 153 on AYX, but I still have some. So let's see if we can pull back down to 1:30 and then buy low, sell high on AYX. that's pretty much it. Just going to keep waiting that one out. And then PayPal, I'm in still. Trend is looking good. I expect earnings to be really good on PayPal. I don't know if that's going to make them go higher, but I am in this call spread on PayPal. I am up on it. I'm profitable on it. And I do like the overall trend. It looks good. So it's high, but you know, if PayPal gaps up on earnings, great. If it gaps down on earnings, I will buy to close the 280 and I will add another call option later in December is my plan. So if it gaps down big, I'll buy to close the 280, hold on, let something like this happen and buy some more calls around December on PayPal. So that is my plan. And that is Tech Giant Tuesday. So I know I went a little late and no one's ever actually cared if I ever go over, but I do want to respect your time. I have another appointment in 10 minutes. What do you guys want to look at tomorrow? Hector wants to look at silver and gold. All right. Silver and gold can do. HLT, FUTU, plug, Billy, ST&E, DPHC, Netflix, eBay, Fastly, absolutely. Apple can do. RGR, SWBI. Got it. Wix, Alibaba, Win, definitely. Salesforce can do. Texas Instruments. Yep, and yep. All right, team. Well, I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thank you for being here. And until next time, love life, and trade it. You rock. Goodbye.